I wasn't sure Jon Mozes would want to talk to me because the Curve have already fallen behind in their game against Bowie tonight. They're down 6-0, and the game doesn't start for another 6 hours. Or it seems that way anyway, John. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Rough week for the Curve, huh?
Yeah, just playing from behind. 5 out of 6 games here coming out of the All-Star break and coming away with 5 losses. It's yesterday was a pretty tough one for this group, and we'll see how they can bounce back.
36 runs surrendered in the last 3 games against Bowie. The starters have had a tough time. Well, everybody's had a tough time, and maybe Tanesh Thomas was able to escape unscathed a little bit. But my goodness, when your pitchers are not playing well and your hitters aren't hitting, even though they did get some runs, it's really tough on a ball club, and that can be contagious. But there are opportunities to learn even in losses, aren't there?
Absolutely. And sometimes you appreciate direction, with every, swinging it well, pitching it well, catching it well. To get all 3 of those on the same night, every night in a row is actually pretty tough. And, this is a good lesson about consistency and bringing good effort every day, every pitch, every inning. And, I think that's part of the message that the coaching staff's been talking to the guys about in the last day or two.
Well, that's one of the things about it. This is an opportunity, and really it is a chance for the coaches as well to show how they handle adversity with the team. And the team is looking at them and saying, what do we do?
Yeah, our manager, Kyron Madison, has talked to me about that sometimes, that's been a point of growth for him this year, that there are a lot of guys on the team who are young and look up to him and to members of the coaching staff to see how they react to situations, because it informs their reactions in some way. So Kyron has said, he's tried to be a little bit more calm when, calls with umpires don't go their way. And, I think that sort of helps keep the team even keeled over the course of the year. And, look, you got to grow through what you go through. And, sometimes when it's not going great, you just got to find a way to grow from it.
Yeah, absolutely do. So guys like Carmen Majinski, he had a rough outing. Ortiz had a rough outing as well. Quinn Priester he pitched really well last time out. And he seems to be a guy that is more than comfortable at the Double-A level. So we should see him over the weekend. The Curve still has a chance to do some special things starting tonight with Kyle Nicholas.
Oh, for sure. We're not all that far away from staying in this second half playoff race. Sure, we're going to look back on this road trip with a little bit of regret, seeing 5 losses on it already with still 3 games to go. And you say, we might be looking back a month from now and saying, boy, had we taken one more game in Harrisburg and one more game in Bowie, then, it'll be a different situation. But still, plenty of runway here. The full 7 weeks of baseball left still in front of us, all of August and September. So the opportunity is there still to win this second half title. But, you're going to have to chase Bowie, who has won 3 games already in this series, and these guys can really swing it. I think that's sort of been lost in our conversation this morning, that we're playing a good team. The Bay Sox, they can really hit. So it's been a tough week, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nicholas tonight, he's a guy who is, they've got a lot of hopes attached to him. The other fellows we mentioned as well, let's not bury them yet. These are guys that the Pirates organization still has a lot of great hope for them. And Priester I mentioned as well. He pitched last weekend, and man, he was dominant.
Yeah, Quinn absolutely has the kind of stuff that you look for, for somebody that's going to start in the major leagues for a long time. He's just got a great attitude about him. He doesn't work too slow. He doesn't work slowly. He gets up and goes. He doesn't overthink pitches, and he's got that good sinking fastball, which he was talking about with a member of the Pittsburgh media. About how when he throws strikes early in the count, that it helps him build confidence throughout his start. And, those first 2 innings or so for him are pretty important, because if he comes out and throws strikes, then he gets this confidence going, and that lets everything fall into place for him.
Some of these guys on the Curve and the pitching staff, and Priester's the one you think about most of all in this case, they have that fastball that sort of explodes at the end of it.
Yeah, it's what you call that rising fastball a little bit, where if you can stay at the top of the zone and it sort of has that little hop at the end of it, that's a great weapon for a pitcher to have.
Absolutely. So Nicholas tonight, is Priester tomorrow or Sunday?
Priester's looking like Saturday, and then we'll be back to Majinski on Sunday.
Majinski on Sunday. All right. And Carmen's going to look to rebound as well. He's had a couple of rough outings. And the Curve themselves have had some rough outings, but as we said, it's a good chance for them to right the ship here. Some of the bats are still out there and pretty lively. Triolo continues to just plug along. It's amazing how every night it seems he gets mentioned in the highlights package because he did something good with the bat. But the Curve position players, they've had their struggles too, but still they're plugging away at it.
For sure, and this is not the Curve at their best. Nick Gonzalez still sidelined, Henry Davis still sidelined, Lolo Sanchez has been on the IL for a couple weeks now. But you're right. Some of the consistencies that Jared Triolo and Andres Alvarez and Aaron Shackelford have provided have sort of kept the team afloat here for a couple weeks now. And that's what you're looking for. Somebody to step up when guys get promoted or leave on the injured list. And, some of those guys like Shackelford, like Alvarez, like Triolo have really, sort of kept the line moving a little bit here for the Curve. And, it's been good to see, and hopefully some reinforcements arrive in the next week or two, and then the lineup can be a little more consistent as a group.
That Macias name keeps popping up too, doesn't it?
Yeah, Fabricio Macias, man. He's a guy that, we don't really know a whole lot about. He sort of came without much fanfare, signed out of the Mexican League at 19 a couple of years ago now. But, manager Kyron Madison was talking about how excited he was to get Macias with this group, because he had him last year in Greensboro. And he said that when he was with the Grasshoppers last year that Macias came through with just a lot of two-out RBIs. They batted him 7th, 8th sometimes last year with that lineup. And Fabricio would just sort of almost break opponents' spirits with some of his two-out RBIs and hits to extend rallies last year. And he was looking for, and, he's very much lived up to that reputation in his about 16 games now with Altoona, where he's just been super solid every day, giving the team good at bats, and that's all you can hope for when somebody shows up, that they can come in and be productive.
So the Curve hoping to put things back together against Bowie over this weekend, and then you're home, huh?
Yeah, it'll be nice to be back to Altoona for a week. We'll host the Akron Rubber Ducks, team that I think is a little bit motivated to try to win the second half, even though because they were right on the edge of it at the end of the first half. We're going to see Brian Trottier at the ballpark August 4th this is Thursday next week, for a special appearance. A 6-time Stanley Cup winner will be there Thursday night. We'll have post-game fireworks on Tuesday night, also on Saturday and Sunday, 6 o'clock games all week. And you can come out and get a really cool bobblehead on Friday night, August the 5th. We're doing a vintage bobblehead, which sort of has this sort of old-timey baseball look to it that I think will be quite popular.
Yeah. There you go. Lots of great promotions, of course, for the Altoona Curve. Can people still get signed up to get the special autograph session with Trottier?
That's right. Yeah, just give us a call at the ballpark, 814-99-CURVE, and we'll be happy to arrange you for that VIP package.
Yeah. I think that folks need to also become more aware of the urgency of this season. You don't have all that many more opportunities to see the Curve at home.
That's right. We've got 4 series left at home times 6 games, so that's 24 opportunities left for you to come out and have a great time. We've got 2 homestands in August, where we're home next week and then away for a week in Binghamton and then back after that. And, we'll be home a little bit in early and mid-September. So, even though the temperature might drop a little bit, it's still going to be a good chance to enjoy Curve baseball once September arrives.
Yeah, it's a little bit of bonus baseball too. In past years, September 1st was the cutoff, and you got into the playoff season right after that. But the season extended a little bit more into September now with the schedule changes because of the late start this year, and just because of the way they're working things out now in the minor leagues. So there is that opportunity in September, but the chances are dwindling to see the Curve. Now's a good chance.
Well, yeah, and so I know for some fans out there, you like to see, the minor league team for your maybe favorite parent club. So the Philadelphia Phillies affiliate will come to Altoona for the first time in a couple of years in mid-September. So if you're a Phillies fan and you're in the listening area, that's a good chance for you to come out to a game also.
That's true. They're in this area right now because they've got the Phillies at PNC Park this weekend. So you're right. That'll be a good chance for all of that to happen. All right. You've been able to swing the sticks a little bit, get out on the golf course this week?
Oh, yeah. All-Star break last week and a little bit this week. Certainly had a good time getting out on the golf course and look forward to another day, maybe tomorrow.
How you swinging?
Actually, pretty good. I shot 82 last Monday, playing on a very familiar course. So
82.
I was pretty happy with that outcome, no doubt.
Yeah, man. And on a 9-hole course. Maybe you did 18 on that day, huh?
I did 18 on that day. You're right.
Not so much to brag about if you're shooting 82 over 9, but 18, that's pretty solid stuff. Jon Mozes, thanks for spending some time with us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great week.
You too. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS. CCS.